Well, now when everybody's seated, so we'll proceed with today's first speaker, Virginia Dignum from Umeå, and she will tell us about WASP-HS.
Yes, thank you. Yeah, good morning. I often say when I give talks on AI and AI impact that AI and its impact is too important to be left to us, the engineers alone. And now we got the opportunity to get the other disciplines involved. So WASP-HS, the WASP program for humanities and society, is actually at this moment is not yet. Tomorrow, the Wallenberg Foundations will decide on this program, but we can already talk about it today. So it will be mostly funded by the Marion and Marcus Wallenberg Foundation and is, like I say, still pending the decision of the Wallenberg Foundations. So the aim of the project is to realize this vision that to develop and ensure excellent research on and competence in Sweden on the consequences and challenges involving the impact of artificial intelligence and autonomous systems in the humanities and the society disciplines. So we need all of the disciplines together to really be able to handle the impact and the consequences of AI in society for all of us and for our future. The program is very much similar in structure to the other WASP programs. We'll have four types of instruments which will be developed within the program, which is going to be a 10-year project running until end of 2028. So we'll have a research program aiming at forming an interdisciplinary research community across all the funded projects and together and in collaboration with WASP AI and WASP-HS programs. We are also going to create a national graduate school to raise the knowledge on these disciplines in Sweden. We will have a recruitment program for junior faculty and for visiting professors, and we aim at international partnerships and activities. And the idea is all the time that to work as close as possible together with WASP AI and WASP-HS. The types of focus areas that we are going to look at are things like the implications of AI for labor, fairness, inclusion, diversity, privacy challenges, implications of AI and autonomous systems to justice and democracy, responsibility, accountability, liability, and all this type of principles like we presented yesterday are very much aligned with the vision of Europe on trustworthy AI, but also issues of control and oversight, issues of security and safety, and that again taken from the perspective of different disciplines and not only from the aim of engineering and solving these problems, but really understanding what this means for society, how people interact with systems, how we can deal with AI as a socio-technical system in which people are important components of this system. This is more or less how the timeline looks like at this moment, but it keeps changing, so it might be different in some time. Already now this year there was a call from the MMV Foundations for AI and ethic-related programs. That call closed in April. We are now in the process of reviewing the proposal and so on. I will tell more about that in a minute. So there will be 20 projects more or less funded by the end of 2019, which will start next year. Associated with those projects, there will be 20 extra PhDs starting more or less 1 year later or sometime by the end of 2020. We start next year with the appointment and the search for 10 junior lecturers with packages, which again, similar to the WASP package, will have at least 2 PhDs associated with them. And we hope to attract at least 2 times visiting professors and later again, probably more visiting professors or junior lecturers. Also, along the whole time of the project, we aim at international collaboration, and we'll also start a postdoc program later in in the timeline. And there is already now, and it's not in the slides, some discussions about industrial PhDs associated with the program. This was the call which closed in April. These were the topics that were called for. We had 64 proposals from all over Sweden, more or less. This is the distribution. It's about the affiliation of the PI. You can see that also universities that are not directly connected with WASP are the program is not only for the universities which are associated with WASP, it's for any university or any research system in research institute in Sweden. And we already saw that, for instance, Gothenburg University had a very large amount of projects. This one you cannot read is Lund, I believe, yes. Stockholm University, so the spread was very much across all of Sweden, with some universities a bit more salient than other ones. In terms of topics, also again, we got a very good spread of topics across all the disciplines. I personally was expecting some more projects on the area of psychology and cognitive science, but that's something we'll work later on ensuring that we have more of those type of projects, but still again, a lot of spread in the different disciplines. The graduate school, so, aim is to have 60 PhD students graduated by 2028 on the multidisciplinary topics, like I described before. The principles are very much the same as the WASP-HS graduate school. We hope, because students in this program will have even probably more varied backgrounds than the ones at WASP, because they come from all kinds of disciplines. We'll look at the programs for the students which are as adaptable to the needs of the specific students as possible, so ensure that they have the program of studies that fits best their background and the topic of their project. We hope to make the graduate school open to any other student at WASP, so WASP students who are interested in this more societal and ethical topics are very welcome to join the courses of the graduate school. We hope to make it as hands-on as possible to really understand what impact of AI means and what their projects can contribute to this type of impact. So we look a lot to create collaborations with organizations and industry across Sweden, and we will hope to collocate and coordinate the studies as much as possible with the WASP graduate school. The recruitment plan. So like I said, the aim is to have at least 10 junior lecturers by 2021. Again, there is not a fixed number or set of universities which are involved in the program. The coming months, we will be visiting many universities in Sweden and see what is the receptiveness of different universities for the program. We really want to make sure that these positions is not putting somewhere in a university and at the end of the 5 years, the whole topic disappears again. So we really want to embed it in the vision and in the interests and contribute to the visions of the universities, and that we want to discuss with deans and vice chancellors in the coming months to see how best to guarantee this embedding of the topics and the disciplines in universities. So it will require some co-financing from the universities in order to have this package involved. The same for the visiting professors. There the package is similar to the one from WASP, but what we also want is to see if it's possible to invest some money on part of the time of an existing professor or researcher at a university to ensure the liaison between the visiting professor and the university. The international partnership programs include visits and extended visits from our students abroad and from other students to Sweden, study trips and so on. Again, the governance is very much similar to WASP. The program management at this moment might be, it's a bit smaller and more. We don't separate the graduate school director and the graduate school team from the management team. So we start as one team with like 5-6 persons. And there is a program board which will be advised by a national reference group and by an international advisory board. Very happy to be able to announce that our board is already formed, and this is the board. I will be acting as scientific director, and then also direct the relation between the management team and the board. And like you see, all the people are mostly not from the traditional engineering and computer science disciplines. We tried to get the board to have as wide as possible backgrounds as the program itself will have. And that will be the same for the team members in the program management. So we will look for people not only by geographically distributed in Sweden, but mostly we'll look for the discipline distribution across all the different topics. I think I'm almost done. So this is what I more or less said, all this, so that the activities which we are doing at the moment. And like I say, tomorrow at the Wallenberg Foundations board meeting, they will agree or not with this program. And from now on, we will start setting it up with the idea that we'll have the first appointments by the end of the first projects running by the end of 2019, and the graduate school starting in the fall of 2020. That's it. Thank you.
Questions, comments? Anders?
Oh, yeah.
So I'm going to ask you the $1 million question here.
Yeah.
So
And you have to earn $1 million as well?
no, one of the main challenges in setting up a program like this, I think, and I have some experience in working across the disciplines, is the academic traditions are very, very different between the technology side that we are in and the humanities and social science. And I very much respect that, and I think, but it is a difference. And to summarize that difference is that people coming from the social science, humanities perspective are much more problem-oriented, whereas we are solution-oriented.
Yeah.
And so have you encountered this already, and what is your strategy to cross that bridge between these very, very different views on the academic role? Our role as providers of solutions for society and their role as reflectors and critics of society.
Yep.
Yeah.
Good question. I have worked myself for 30 years in that bridge between disciplines, although from an engineering perspective myself. It is challenging, it is not impossible, and there is more and more across the world and across, you see it increasingly also in other countries, in other organizations. The effort to really combine solutions and problems, because creating solutions to non-existing problems doesn't really help, or to look at problems which don't really have a direct solution probably also don't really help much. So we really have to combine solutions and problems, and that's why we really want to start by the people which apply to these projects, the people which we will attract that already have some type of experience or work done in the bridge between the different types of disciplines. We want to start there, and then from there trying to build and to create the expertise and excellence to other ones. But it's a challenge, yeah. Yep.
Will this program be affiliated to particular universities, or is it open for all universities?
It's open for all universities and will be coordinated from the Umeå University. But it's, in principle, any university in Sweden will be open and able to participate, and then depends on the support and the possibilities at all universities, which ones will be really taking part and which ones not. But like you saw from the coal also already, many, almost everything, even places I didn't know they existed, they applied for.
Okay, so thanks again.
Okay.